There are moments in celebrity culture when everything changes without a single dramatic statement being made, no shouting. A presence that feels different. An energy that quietly moves in a new direction, and suddenly everyone feels it. That is exactly what happened when Remy Ma made her latest public move. It wasn't loud, it wasn't chaotic. It didn't come wrapped in controversy or fueled by a viral argument. But it redirected attention in a way that instantly changed the temperature of the room. Almost overnight, the spotlight that once comfortably framed her alongside Papoose shifted. This time, it hovered over him. At first glance, nothing about the moment seemed earth-shattering. It was simply a public appearance, a decision, a presence. But in today's digital world, subtle changes rarely remain subtle for long. Social media magnifies everything. It slows clips down, it zooms in on expressions. It replays body language frame by frame. And within hours, fans weren't just talking about what Remy did. They were asking what it meant. For years, Remy Ma and Papoose have been presented as one of hip-hop's most loyal and unshakable couples. Their story carried emotional weight. Loyalty tested by distance, public devotion reinforced through interviews, visible support during milestones and hardships. They were framed as proof that love could survive pressure, rumors, and an industry known for breaking relationships apart. That branding became powerful. It became symbolic. People didn't just see two artists in a marriage. They saw a standard, a model, a narrative of ride-or-die devotion that felt rare in a space often dominated by public breakups and messy endings. And once a couple becomes symbolic, every move carries meaning beyond itself. So when Remy stepped forward independently, not detached, not dismissive, just intentionally self-contained, the shift felt amplified. There was confidence in her posture. There was independence in her tone. But there was also something intangible layered beneath it, something that made long-time observers pause. Online curiosity formed almost instantly. Did y'all catch that? Why does this feel different? Is she sending a message? At first, the tone wasn't accusatory. It was observant, curious, but curiosity online rarely stays neutral. It evolves, it sharpens, it spreads. And before long, the narrative pivoted. The conversation moved from "what is Remy doing?" to "why hasn't Papoose responded?" That question, that silence became louder than anything she had actually said or done. Because in celebrity culture, silence is never treated as empty space. It is filled with interpretation. It is dissected. It is assigned intention whether it was intentional or not. Papoose has long cultivated the image of the steadfast supporter, the vocal defender, the man who publicly praised his wife at every opportunity. His devotion wasn't subtle, it was visible. It was spoken, it was reinforced over time. That visibility became part of their shared brand. So in a moment where Remy appeared to be moving with deliberate independence, the absence of immediate public alignment felt amplified. It wasn't that he contradicted her. He didn't. It wasn't that he dismissed her. He didn't. He simply remained steady. But in today's culture of instant reactions and performative responses, restraint can feel suspicious even when it isn't. When a relationship has been publicly branded as unbreakable, any independent move by one partner can feel like a potential crack, even if it isn't one. That's the psychological trap of public relationships. Fans began revisiting old interviews, comparing body language from past red carpets, pulling up previous captions, analyzing lyrics for hidden meaning. It became detective work fueled by emotional investment. One side of social media insisted the internet was reaching. They argued this was empowerment, a woman stepping into her own spotlight without leaning on relationship branding, growth, evolution, a reminder that she is her own force beyond being part of a duo. And in that interpretation, there is nothing traumatic at all, but another side saw tension. They saw timing. They saw a subtle message being sent, not aggressively, not explosively, but clearly enough to spark discussion. And once that interpretation takes root online, it spreads faster than facts ever could. What makes this moment compelling isn't confirmed conflict, it's contrast. For years, Papoose was expressive and publicly affectionate. He set a visible standard for loyalty, So now, in a moment where Remy appears to be moving with quiet autonomy, the contrast feels amplified. The absence of a public counterbalance feels louder than disagreement would have. As hours turned into days, social media split into camps. One side commented, "Y'all want drama so bad. This is just growth." The other insisted, "Energy never lies. When something feels different, it usually is." And somewhere in between, we're the silent observers, watching closely, waiting for confirmation one way or another. But confirmation never came. Hip-hop has long celebrated loyalty narratives, especially when men publicly support their partners. Papoose became a symbol of that archetype, the devoted husband who stood firm through adversity. For many fans, he represented stability in an industry that often feels unstable. So when Remy's move shifted the spotlight onto her independence rather than their unity, it subtly disrupted a dynamic people had grown comfortable with. It raises an uncomfortable question. When a woman in a power couple moves boldly on her own terms, does it automatically create pressure on the man to respond, not because something is wrong, but because expectations were set so high? That invisible weight is what lingers in the air right now. None of this confirms tension. None of it proves conflict. It only proves how quickly perception can become reality in the court of public opinion. Fans invest emotionally in celebrity relationships. They project loyalty, hope, ideals, and even personal experiences onto them. So when the image shifts even slightly, it feels personal. That emotional investment fuels pressure. Now every public appearance matters. Every interview answer will be dissected. Every Instagram caption will be read twice. If Papoose speaks, tone will be analyzed. If he doesn't, silence will be interpreted. If they appear together, viewers will study body language. If they don't, absence will be framed as evidence. That is the impossible position public couples face. Perhaps Remy's move simply reflects growth. Growth as an artist. Growth as a woman, growth as a professional navigating an evolving industry. But when growth happens in public, it rarely gets treated as something natural. Instead, it feels like disruption. Expectation is powerful. Once fans attach themselves to a certain image, any shift can feel intentional, even strategic. And in entertainment, timing is never viewed as neutral. The industry runs on visibility cycles, rollouts, collaborations, and interviews. When something happens during a peak moment of attention, questions follow. Is this aligned with the project? Is it coincidence? Is it personal? Is it professional? Some believe the timing fits too perfectly to ignore. But without clarification, interpretation fills the silence. And mystery sustains engagement. What happens next becomes the biggest question. Will Papoose step forward with a visible show of unity? Will Remy address speculation directly? Or will both ignore the noise entirely? Sometimes the strongest move is not reacting at all. There's also a broader societal paradox. Here, audiences demand transparency from celebrities while criticizing oversharing. They crave authenticity but analyze it as performance. They celebrate unity but speculate about cracks. It creates a cycle where even healthy independence can be mistaken for instability. Maybe the pressure isn't just on Papoose. Maybe it's on the idea of perfection fans projected onto them in the first place. When you elevate a couple into a symbol, you forget they are human, and humans evolve. Humans shift. Humans step forward independently without it meaning collapse. But nuance doesn't trend. Tension trends. Right now, what makes this moment fascinating isn't confirmed drama. It's uncertainty. Alter narrative overnight. Remy's latest move reframed attention. It redirected the spotlight. It reminded the public that she is a presence all her own. And whether intentional or not, it placed Papoose under a microscope he didn't actively seek but now undeniably stands beneath. The real question isn't whether there's trouble. It's whether the internet's expectations are heavier than reality. Because sometimes the loudest drama isn't in what's said. It's in what isn't.